The third fundamental wrestling technique that I want to go over is the stand-up. Okay, and the reason I want to go over that is because you can be as good as you want on your feet. If you go to the second period and that guy picks top and you don't know how to get out, you're in some serious trouble. Okay, and I've seen this happen to a lot of kids, and I hate to see it happen because it takes a long time to get really good on your feet. And if you still don't know how to wrestle on bottom, you're just not going to beat the best guys. So everyone in the sport of wrestling needs to be good at getting out and good at holding position on bottom so they don't get turned, taken advantage of. Okay, and some of the fundamentals are right from the start. So today my goal is to teach a stand-up, and that's what I would do if I had a new wrestler. That's what I would do if I was at college coaching at Lehigh and I had a kid come in and I was evaluating the kid the first 3 weeks or so of preseason training, and I realized this kid doesn't have a stand-up. Okay, we're going back to the basics. I'm going to teach you to stand up. And it's just one of those things that you need, absolutely need it. It's a lifeline. Okay, when you get set on bottom, there are a couple things. One, you want your knees to be just wider than your hands. And the reason is because I think when you pull your arms back, okay, it's good to have a wider base than your shoulders. Okay, and you want your elbows in and your hands out. So what I like to do sometimes is if the guy starts trying to pull me, I'll actually put my wrist right outside of my knee. Okay, now if my legs are in and I put my hand here, a guy might be able to still grab it. But if I take my legs and widen them just a little, I got a wider foundation, okay, and I can take my wrist and put it outside of my thigh and hold it up, like brace it on my leg, and that guy won't be able to pull it in. Okay, so I like to have my knees out there for those two reasons. Okay, and the other thing that I like to do is when I get set, okay, my knees go on the line, my hands are going down just inside of my knees, and when I get set, I like to try to bow my back and push all my weight up. I try to get my butt as low as I can. Some people need work and flexibility on their knees here. This is tough for a lot of people, but there's a serious advantage to having your hands be light. Okay, so when I put my hands down, I get set in wrestling, I would try to actually, like right now you can hardly see it maybe if you zoom in with the camera on my hands. My hands are like floating just about this far above the mat, and I used to do that all the time. Every time I ever got set in college. And the guy would get set on top, and they would push my hands down, and then what I would do is push back into them and lean to the side that they were set on and try to get my hands so that they were light again. I wanted no weight on my hands. I would bear it all with my hips and my lower back so that as soon as the whistle blew, I could get my arms in faster than he could get his inside. It's a race, and you want every single advantage in that race to beat your opponent to inside control, just like on your feet. Okay, if the guy gets a one-on-one or a two-on-one, you're going to get ridden for a little while. You don't want that. Okay, so let's get Bryson out here on top. Okay, and all I'm going to do is show you what I do with my arms right off the set. Okay, I get set like this, knees are a little wider than my hands. My hands come down nice and light. My back's bowed. He's going to get set on top. And when he gets set, I feel the presence. He's off to my left side. So what I would do, and the ref won't say anything because it's very subtle, but it's enough. What I would do is push back into him until my left hand is light. See how light my left hand is? He's set on top, push into me even a little more. Bryson, yep, okay, yep, go ahead. No, not to start, just a heavy start. Get ready for a head, yeah, do it, okay. And I can still take that weight off my hand. When that whistle blows, that elbow is going to fly this way. Taking my thumb, pointing it out, okay? It's very important. That's going to help you get your elbow in further than your wrist. You want your arm this way. You don't want it this way. If you're telling time on bottom, you're in trouble. Okay? The reason is he's going to grab a one-on-one, and then a two-on-one, and then you're trapped. It's a seatbelt. Okay? If your arm is out, he can't grab it. Try to grab a one-on-one brace. See how he can't reach it? Okay? So that's critical. So I get set on my hands light so I can beat him in the race. What I want Bryson to do is try to get this hand inside. Okay? He's going to try to go inside. Now watch what I do. I'm not going to come straight back because he's anticipating my arm being where it is. What I'm going to do is bring my arm over here so that he is going to miss his location. See, he can't see his arm and he can't see my arm. So he's going to let go and come for a one-on-one. And in the meantime, my arm's going to be going all the way over here and then beating him inside. Okay, so there's a little trick that I don't really show too many guys, but this can give you just a little advantage if you're one of the elite level like college wrestlers. Some people don't at that level don't know this, and it might help. So we get set, ready, go. I bring my arm way over towards my other arm and then back. Okay, this arm comes back, and now it's just both elbows are tight, and two of my hands are going to attack one of his hands. The waist is the key. Okay, you want to beat the other hand inside, and then take two hands against his waist hand, not his wrist, his hand. So right here, I grab his knuckles, and then I grab all the fingers. That's ultimate control of that hand. I'm going to take it and put it outside my other hip. When I do that, remember I said I use my thigh as a pry bar, or as a fulcrum. I'm prying with my wrist against my own leg here to keep my arm glued to my stomach. I'm actually straightening my arm like that so that my arm is glued to my stomach, and Bryson can't wedge his arm inside there. Try to fight inside and get a one-on-one. See how tight it is, Bryson? And that's because I'm doing this. I'm not just holding it like that. Okay? Pry it, push it down there. And now he's going to guide me right up to my feet. If he doesn't, I'll escape from down here. Okay? And the way I would do it is I put that hand behind my back, let go of it, and push right here, scoot away, and then at the last second, let go of that hand. Okay? He gets set on top. He's going to go for a one-on-one when I say go, or say ready, go. And as he goes for his one-on-one, now he beat me inside. He came way over. So in this position, I'm going to come up, and this is key. I'm glad that Bryson beat me here. He didn't beat me by a lot. See just his fingers down there? So what I'm going to do is make a big net, catch that, push it down, bring my elbow over it, and now I'm back inside again. Okay? A little sound effects for you, excite things here. And my other two hands, right away, attack that free hand on the waist. Grab, put it outside, lock this tight to my belly. If he pushes now, try to push me down, Bryson. Push, push, push. I'm going to stand up to my feet. Now I'm in position to get out. Okay? This hand is going to get shed off behind me. I'm going to throw it away, and then I'm going to turn towards the other arm that's pulling. See how he's pulling me? He's pulling me to my left, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to put this hand behind me and go. Okay? And I free myself just like that. Next thing I want to show is a way to practice a stand-up, and you can do hundreds, thousands of them. I know I've done thousands, and that is on the wall. My dad had a padded wall in our house so I could do this because I didn't have a partner at home. You're going to use the wall as your opponent. When a guy gets set, he gets set on one side. Okay, everything else is going to be visual. So when a guy gets set, he gets set, let's say, on your left side. That's most common. Tight waist right hand, elbow left hand. So I'm going to put my left hip against the wall. Okay, and pretend that's my opponent. I'm going to practice, put my knees down, my hands light, push back and to the left just slightly, and then right off the whistle, hands come in, or elbows come in, hands out. Okay, two hands attack that waist hand, put it off to the side, outside leg steps up. Okay, I call it the outside leg because he's over there. Okay, once the outside leg is up, okay, I can hold that there and hip up with my other leg. Okay, see that step? I push into the wall, and I give all my weight over to the wall, and I pick my hips up a little bit, and it allows me to lift this free leg up. Boom. Once I'm up, I take that hand, I put it down behind me. This hand goes behind me, I shed it behind, and I turn just like I did before when I was standing. Hip heist to the left. Hand goes behind, hip heist to the left. The hip heist is a tricky move to learn. The way I like to teach it to wrestlers is you're on the wall, you're like upside down with you can put a cup of water on your belly, basically. And what you're going to do is twist and land in the exact same spot on the ground with your legs kicking and flipping over. So I'm like this. I can put a cup of water on my belly. I'm going to kick towards the camera and flip my legs upside down. Okay, and that's a way to scissor yourself out so the guy can't follow you. You're spinning on your short axis, so it makes it ultimately faster than your opponent can be. It's a good way to hip heist out when you clear one of the arms on bottom. Okay? Again, the stand-up would be Something like this that were drilled fast, and I'm going to do a bunch of these in a row. There's one way, okay, and I didn't show that. We're going to erase that one. So that was a different one. I posted the head off and said that too. Okay, we'll do this again. Okay, here's a full speed. Elbow in, come up, get placed out to the left. Another time, elbow in, hands off. Get that arm back on here. Get placed out. Okay? Drilling on the wall is a great way to get good at this. To be successful on bottom, there are a couple of tools you need in your toolbox. One of them is a knee slide. If you're on bottom and a wrestler pushes you forward, okay? I didn't think this through beforehand. If you're on bottom and a wrestler pushes you forward and off to an angle, okay, a good thing to do in order to not get extended. I always want my knees close to my chest. I always want my knees and my shins underneath me. That's my base. I want to be able to pick my hands up. So if I start getting pushed forward, as you can see, I'm not going to be able to pick my hands up without falling. So I do what's called a knee slide. It's really simple. I just move my arms forward, take the weight for a second, and slide my knees right up by my hands. It's that simple. Bryson pushes me forward. For a chop down, I move my arms forward, and I slide my knees right up on my hands. Now I'm vertical. If I get my back vertical and the guy pushes, I'm going to stand right up to my feet. Hold your ground there. Once you get vertical, do not let him push you back down, because now he's going to put his weight on top of you. If I let Bryson, if I get like a table, he's going to stack his weight right on me and push me into the ground. And that's not what I want. So what I got to do is brace, slide forward, get vertical, and now stand up. Okay, just like we do on the wall. That window is always there. People don't really feel it sometimes. You can stand up pretty easily. The trick to it is switch your weight onto him. Let's look at this from the side. Bryson, hop right back here. What I want you to watch is my back's going to start off facing the ceiling. Okay? When I hit my knee slide, I execute, and my back will be straight up and down. If I take my back and just lean it onto him a little bit, all the weight comes off my legs, and I can stand up. Okay? So right now in the beginning, he's on top. I'm horizontal. I'm getting squished. He's pushing me down. Push. And I'm trying not to get broken down. Okay? It's going to be really hard for me to get my legs up here. Gotta keep pushing. Okay? I can't pick my legs up. But if I grab, brace out, grab the mat with my hands, and slide my knees under, I'm going to get vertical. Okay? Now, if I grab that, attack that belly hand, okay, like we talked about before, hand, fingers, push it down to the far side, and start to lean back into him. Just that leaning back allows me to just stand right up. All the weight comes off my lower body because I switched it onto his upper body. So by leaning back, you can really distribute all your weight onto him and free your legs. Your legs are needed to get up. You need your legs free to get up. Okay? So a knee slide is a really important tool on bottom. Another important ability is to unwrap the tight waist. Some guys you're going to find, if they get a tight waist put on them, they're immobilized. And that's not good, because tight waist is the most common thing to get done to you when you're on bottom. So let's have Bryson get on top and get a tight, tight waist. My voice will probably change a little bit. That's good. This guy's strong. This is tight. Okay? And what I want to do here is unwrap it. If I turn to my left, okay, it makes it tighter. It's like a ratchet. If I try to turn that way, it's tight over here, wrenching on my waist. But if I could just do this for a second. Let's sit up here, Bryson. Let go of this arm just for a second. Get a tight, tight waist. That's all. One arm from here. There we go. Tight waist. If I turn this way, it's tight. But now if I go this way, it unwraps. Just comes right off. So what you need to do on a tight waist is unwrap the tight waist. Bryson has a tight waist and it's coming from my right side. Okay? I need to go that direction. Okay, so I'm on bottom. You guys probably know this as a switch. Okay, I'm going to try to clear my arm. And the trick to doing that is doing it fast, by the way. Not like that, but like that. Okay, hold on to that elbow. I'm going to try to clear it. Now that's pretty clear. So I'm going to go and hit my switch, and I'm going to chase the source of that arm that's tight waisted me. Okay? And now at this point, if he's holding that elbow, hold on to that elbow, Bryson, that means I'm not good for a switch. So now I'm going to change it to a changeover. I'm going to take both my hands, grab the hand that's on the waist, and hip up. Okay? Instead of going switch, I'm going to do what I call unwrap the waist or change over to a stand-up. Okay? If the elbow's free, execute a switch. So here are those two. Okay? First one we'll do, I'll free the elbow, I'll hit the switch. So this time you're going to hold lightly on the elbow. Okay, that's a switch. This one, and this is more common at the higher levels. On this one, the elbow is not coming free. Okay, so we got a big, strong guy like Bryson who's hooked on that elbow. And he's tight-waisted and tough. And I gotta unwrap that tight waist so I can move. And I try to do this, and it just crushes me there. I'm gonna turn to here, and I'm stuck. I can't finish my switch. Don't try to. Grab his hand, pop up. Okay? Push it on the hip brace. You're out. Okay? It's just like we talked about before. Let me show it one more time. This is really hard, but this is how you get out from the best guys. Tight waist, good hook on that elbow, Bryson, good. Okay, get a tight waist tighter. That's it, yep. If I can't get out, grab that wrist. Now watch. Make myself an upside down table. Just like that. Peel this one off. As I feel it coming off, I'm going to turn to the arm that he has. Okay? That I call a changeover to a stand-up. Anytime you fight the hands and you get them off and you're in a vulnerable balancing position, hip heist right away as hard as you can, and usually you'll end up facing the guy and free. This brings us to technique number 4. This is the tight waist ride. This sounds overly simplified, but on a tight waist ride there are a few ways that you can maximize your ability to ride a guy and minimize your opponent's ability to get out. I put this one on the list for the 6 basic techniques for every successful wrestler, and the reason I did it is because there are times when if you can defend everyone's best shot and get out from bottom and stop them from turning you and pinning you or riding you, you might find yourself in overtime, and you may have to ride an opponent for more than 30 seconds. So I didn't put any turns on this list, but I think it's critical that everyone can ride for just at least 30 or 40 seconds. Okay, so in the room, it's really good to do 40-second goes, 50-second goes, a minute go with one guy on top, and really try to teach those kids the tools to stay on top for that period of time. It's really a grind. Kids tend to want to do one move and then wait a while and then do another move. Okay, and the difference between high school wrestling on top and bottom and college wrestling on top and bottom is in college there's constant pressure, constant effort, and it's just a grind on top. And on bottom, you don't get any time to breathe. You feel like a python is wrapped around you and just squeezing you in every position, and it's really, really, really hard to get out. If you ride like a college wrestler at the high school level, you're going to be really successful. So I want to show a couple things here that can close some of the openings for the bottom guy and make it really hard for them to get out. Okay? And what I want you to think about, I'm going to talk about the window over here, the window over here. The bottom guy has front, back, left, and right windows. Okay? So if I'm on bottom and the opponent's off to my left side, my right side is free. And that's where I would try to move my legs to get up to my feet. Okay? You need an opening for your legs. If you can close all the windows and put pressure in all 4 locations, the guy on bottom is going to have a really difficult time getting to his feet. And if he can't get to his feet, the chances are good he won't get out. Okay, so I'm going to bring Bryson out here and I'm going to go over to starting position just to get going. And then I'm going to show you how a tight waist chop should really look, in my opinion. I'm going to have you start facing this way. Okay, so the bottom man set, top man should get on at this point. I always like to put my hand on the belly first. I had one instance where I put my hand on the elbow first, and as I was coming for the belly, the guy hit a stand-up. And the ref didn't see my hand wasn't on him yet. Now they've made it a rule. I think the hand has to go first and then elbow. I can't keep up to all the rule changes, but I always put my hand on the belly first. And the hand on the belly really doesn't do anything. And it's the forearm, and this is the important part. The forearm controls this hip. Okay? On the side near me, I have my thigh here. Okay, and I'm not going to be on my knee for very long. My knee will touch down on the ground here and there, and it'll bump against them here and there. But I'm going to really be pushing off my left toe in addition to my right one. Okay, so I'm going to control this hip with my forearm right here. I'm going to control this hip with my thigh over here. I'm going to control the front end left corner or window with this hook like that. Okay, a lot of people like to grab the elbow. I don't grab the elbow because when your hand gets sweaty, it's hard to hold on to things. And if you're relying on your grip, it's not that strong a lot of times, frankly, to get what you want. If I'm going to pull a guy's arm back just by squeezing his elbow, it's not going to happen very often. So I like to make a hook and just basically focus on trapping that arm. Okay, I want to take this hip, trap this hip. Take that arm, trap that arm, and I'm going to deliver the hip to the arm. Okay, so that's my theory or principle of a tight waist chop breakdown. My hand comes on the belly first. Now look at the elbow, pinch, and that's trying to close this hip. I don't want to leave an opening there. If my arm's sideways, there's not much pressure, right, Bryson? But now I go like this. You can feel I'm closing that gap in a little bit. And what I like to do with my knee back there is take my foot back here, pretty far away, and slant my knee at about a 45-degree angle and put it close to his butt and close to my elbow. And that closes this hole here. So it just kind of seals the whole, he's closed in all the way around me here. Okay, so I got him around the belly, pinch, knees down, close to my elbow, can't be touching, but it's close, it'll be touching in a second. Okay, and my elbow, or my hand goes on his elbow, just temporarily. As soon as the whistle blows, I'm going to drape over and hook that elbow. Okay? Let me show that from this angle. Face to face. Okay. Set. Hand on the belly first. Pinch the elbow. Knee comes down. Hand on his elbow. As soon as the whistle blows, that's my drape. Notice I don't go way over. And a lot of coaches will say, I don't like reaching over. Well, if you reach over and just hang your arm there, you're in trouble. But if you're reaching over this shallow and you're pulling down the way I am, keep your hand there, Bryson. Pulling down the way I am. All I'm trying to do is put all his weight on that hand. That's all I'm doing. That's not dangerous. There's nothing he can do there. Okay? What my hips do at this point is I push. Okay? I'm up on both toes. I'm pinching his hip, and I'm trying to deliver his hip to his elbow. And I'm going to push on my toes. All my arms do is squeeze. Toes, 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 knee, toes, toes, toes. And now his elbow is to his hip. So I have a far wrist. Okay? I'm going to have Bryson base out real hard a couple times and really base out like he's fighting a gut wrench and see what happens. But I want to show this from all angles. So let's turn back to the left. That's good. Okay, on this one, watch my toe and what my knee does. My knee is going to be pushing him in the butt to try to push this hip right up to that wrist up there. Okay, I want this and this to meet together. Tight waist, knee tilts down, hand on the elbow, ready, go. I drape over and I'm off both off both knees. Okay, brace out pretty good, Bryson. Good. Okay, now he's saying, no, I don't want to get breaking down. Now watch my toe. Push, 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 push. And then just jam that knee up between his legs. And what that does is, as long as I keep my hook in the top, he's going to collapse. He won't be able to move that arm. And I keep pushing, 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 and eventually he's going to collapse to the side, and I'll have a far wrist. If you can get a far wrist, you can get a 2-on-1. And if you can get a 2-on-1 or a far wrist feed, you're going to ride the guy for a long time and probably turn him. Okay, so this is a great breakdown. Chip away at it. Toes are in the ground. You can use your knees to bump them. I really use my back knee behind the tight waist to push his hips forward. Another thing that does, and this is great for your new wrestlers. New wrestlers get high on top all the time. If you can teach them to keep their thigh in the guy's butt, okay, and you heard it way back, this is an olden days thing, knee in the butt on top. Oh my, it's so true, it's so effective, and this is why. It helps push his hips to his hand but it also helps keep me from getting high. If I have my knee out like this, I can get way up and I can push right over the top of them. New kids do this all the time and they come way out to the side and they don't understand how to stay behind. If I tell them, I'm going to take this spot, I'm going to put a sticker there, I want you to keep that on his butt. Boom. Now the guy can't get high anymore. He's stuck behind him. You just got to push that. Boom, 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 boom. And keep pushing that leg in there. Okay? That's going to help you a whole lot on slowing down the bottom guy, taking away his offense and getting out, and riding him for at least 30 seconds. The next situation we're going over is called a front head and arm. Okay, we now have hand fighting ability, we have a sprawling technique down pat, we have our stand-up down pat, and we have a tight waist ride down pat. Okay, the next thing I want is from a hand fight to be able to snap a guy down, or from his shot to be able to down block and sprawl to a front head and arm. If the guy lets go of the leg, I have his head and arm. This happens all the time. We get in this position all the time in wrestling. This is why I put it on the list. This is a really hard position to finish from and score from for high school kids. And it's all, about discipline. They always get their elbow deep. If you cannot get your elbow deep and you can stay on your toes, you're going to score in this position. Okay, and you'll score on the best people. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's spin around, Bryson. When I get a front headlock, let's say Bryson shoots in on me. Okay, and I sprawl and he lets go of my leg. Okay, let's go. Boom, I have a front headlock now. If he doesn't have my leg, I don't sprawl anymore because he's not holding my leg. So I'm going to front head. And what I want to do is really, really consciously pull this arm up. Okay, I would rather have this arm shallow than down. If my elbow comes down at all, he's going to grab it and pull it all the way down. He's strong now. He's very strong now. If you give him your elbow, he's going to take the whole thing. So you need to keep it up so he can't reach it. If he reaches for my elbow, go ahead, Bryson. I want to pull it up even higher. When I have this front head, he'll come up for the elbow all the time. Keep trying to grab it, Bryson. I gotta do things to stop him from getting it. Okay? If he goes for the elbow, you gotta have a game plan immediately. There are two things I want to teach. Okay? And front head position is the first. One trick on a front head is to keep your shoulder right in the back of his neck. Okay? You can use your head to peel down on him, to put weight down on him. You put your head down by his armpit, it gets heavy on him. Okay? I like to control the elbow and his chin. That's it. I don't want to reach underneath and grab anything else with on the side that's on the head. Okay, so Bryson's on all fours. I have his chin, and I'm going to pull it up into me like this, and I have his other elbow. Okay, Katie, you want to come over to this side. Okay, I have his chin, and I pull it up into me, and I pull his other elbow up to my chest. Out to the side is ideal, because that's hard for Bryson, and it's really, I can put my head down and put some weight on his shoulder. If I pull it straight forward, he's not in so much pain. The other thing that it does is if I pull his arm away from my arm, it makes it harder to get sucker dragged. So if I pull this arm way out here, he can't sucker drag me. If I just hold it up, he can. Do you know sucker drag? Grab my elbow. Yep. Oop. Just like that. Okay, so if I keep his arm away from my other arm, I'm in good shape. If I feel him going for it, I put my head up in the middle of his back. And I'm addressing this so much because this is one of the big moves that the bottom guy should be looking for to get out of this. If I have this arm up here and I feel him going for my elbow for a sucker drag, I put my chin right on his back and he can't do it. Go ahead and try. See how it's not there anymore? So, and then I pull that elbow back and I put my head back down on this side. Okay? I have my knee down here, but here's how I really want to be. Okay? I want to be heavy down on Bryson. See how he's getting squished? There's a lot of weight here. Pulling on his shoulder and leaning down on him. Okay? Brace up here real strong, Bryson. Okay? One thing that I like to do is called a short drag. I'm up on my feet. Okay? I'm going to take my hand here. If the guy grabs my elbow or tries to with your other hand, Bryson. There you go. I'll let go of his chin and right up over his head and grab his armpit. Short arm drag. Okay? I'm letting go. I'm coming over his head, grabbing the armpit. Boom. Short arm drag and grab a takedown leg. Be ready to shoot a double leg there if he bails out and tries to hit a stand-up. Let me show you what that looks like. I have his chin, I have his arm, he goes for my elbow over here. There we go. And he gets it. Okay, he pulls it down real far. Okay, I'm coming up, over his head, short drag, and I start to come around. He's gonna hit a quick stand up. Okay, and I need to double leg him and get him taken down. Okay? Don't rely on going around the waist. Be ready to run the takedown. Okay? Come with a power leg up. If he executes a stand up, blast double. That's what I really want to show for the front headlock. It's all about this elbow. There's one more technique though that will help. He grabs that elbow. I'm in a front head. This one's really, really simple. And I can almost bait him with the elbow. So usually if I have a front head, I'm so shallow that guy can hardly grab it. Okay, and in this position, he's gonna try to pull my arm down. He's pulling down, I'm pulling it up. Well, I might one time just give it to him. And when I let him pull that arm down, I let go of the other elbow, and I come underneath. Grab his wrist. Okay, or his hand actually. When I grab his hand, I pull it off my arm, retreat with my arm, circle to the side, grab his leg, and be ready to shoot a shot. Shoot a double. Okay? Let's show a little bit. Same thing. Bryson has my elbow over here. Okay, I'm pulling my elbow up, I'm pulling my elbow up. Okay, he keeps on pulling that thing down. So one time I'll let him pull it down. Okay? And I'm going to grab that hand off, circle to the side, grab this takedown leg, and if he fires up to his feet, I'm hitting a double leg. Okay, the last move that I want to go over today is a single leg. And my philosophy on a single leg for new guys is don't go to your knee. Everybody teaches a wrap arm single in the United States where you're shooting down to your knees, or a high cross where you're shooting down to your knees, or a double where you're shooting down to your knees. The second a new guy goes to his knees, he loses all momentum. Okay? People who aren't familiar with wrestling aren't good on the mat, typically. They're good on their feet, because that's where we spend most of our life. So I'm going to show you a single leg where you can stay on your feet, and what that does is it takes the opponent's ability to sprawl on top of you and take you down away. If anything goes wrong during a single leg, you just simply let the leg go and push the guy away from you. Okay, it's really simple. Whatever leg Bryson has front, okay, he's in his stance. Okay, if he has his right leg front, I'm going to take my left leg and put it front so that our feet are real close together. I'm going to step just outside of his foot, like that. I'm going to aim my ear, if it's my left leg I'm stepping with, I aim my left ear to his shoulder and chest area, okay, right in here. So my ear is going to go away from the camera. So I'm going to ask you. Okay, so in this situation, Bryson's right leg's front, I put my left leg front. So we're right in line, we're real close with our feet here. I'm going to bring my trail leg up. Okay, and that gives me, that's my layup step. It gives me a little power to step forward. Okay, from this position, I'm going to step my foot right next to his foot. My left ear goes right to his chest, and I lock my hands around his leg. The hand that goes around the back should be on top. Okay, so here's what it looks like. We're in a stance, we shake hands, here we are. Boom. Okay, that's the position. It's so simple that people don't like to do it because there's nothing fancy about it. The problem with it is it works so darn good that everyone in college does it, and everyone internationally does it, and we're the only country that's not really teaching it. So I don't understand. But there's no risk. I bring my back step in, okay? I take my foot and I step it right outside of his leg. My hands go right around his knee. My back hand goes on top. My left ear is going to be right in his chest. And then I'm going to push. And when I push, I'm going to load him onto his other leg. My goal then is to push and then pull. Okay? Push and then pull. And the idea is to push him onto his other leg and then back up and lift the leg that I have up in the air into my armpit. Okay, so here's what it looks like in the stance. My back leg comes in, my front leg goes right next to his foot. Okay, so power leg in, push, pull. Okay, and I got his leg up in my armpit now. The higher the leg is, the more off balance he is. Okay, a rule of thumb, anytime you get a chance to make your opponent a one-legged man, do it. Anytime you get a chance to lift that leg up higher, do it. Okay? If I can lift that thing just a little higher, he'll fall. If he doesn't fall, kick his other leg and he'll fall. Okay? This is I call it a radar single. Okay? We're here, in stance, power leg comes back. Okay, our back leg comes up. Step right next to his foot. Hands come down. Ears in his chest. Push. Get him onto his back foot. Back up and get that leg up in your armpit. Notice I'm using my elbow. Without letting go of my lock. My hands are still locked under here. I'm using my elbow to get that leg way up high in my armpit. Higher the better. My hips are underneath the leg. I don't want to be leaning forward. Take the weight off your back. Okay? Now, while holding the leg, I can lift it higher. And I'm going to do that right at the knee, because the knee is closer to the hip. Okay, so if I take my top forearm and come underneath his knee and lift, Bryson comes right up in the air. So as I uppercut with my top forearm, I sweep. And he falls down and I'm in complete control. That's called a high single. When you're wrestling full speed, okay, it looks something like that. And it happens, it's so easy. If anything ever goes wrong, either you don't get it, like pull your leg back, okay, I missed it, or this time I get it, and things start going wrong, you sprawl, try to get me down or something, push it away. Very low risk, okay? Teaching beginning wrestlers is all about giving them confidence. If you teach them moves that work, okay, and when they don't work, they don't lose anything, that's the key. Okay, so this wraps up my 6 building blocks to successful wrestling, starting with the hand fighting, sprawling, stand up, tight waist ride, front head and arm, and a high single leg.